Now let's talk about the different contributors to the acne inflammasome. First is the acne bacteria. Although Cutibacterium acnes sounds like a bacteria that will trigger the worst acne, C. acnes is actually a natural part of the skin's microflora and plays an important role in maintaining skin health. In fact, there are different strains of C. acnes, and some are commensal, that is beneficial, like strains Roman numeral 1A1, 1B2, 1B3, and Roman numeral 2, while others are pathogenic, that is bad, strains Roman numeral A2, 1B1, and you can see this summarized in the chart in the top right. So the statement that C. acnes causes acne is actually an overgeneralization, and we must look deeper into the microbiome as to why certain bacterial strains are beneficial and can even help prevent acne, like the type 2 in the bottom figure, which is called acne defendens, or type 3, whose role we don't even know yet, while others in type 1, like the 1A2 and 1B1 strains we just talked about, can become virulent under certain conditions, like in an oxygen-depleted, sebum-filled plug pore. In fact, it turns out that the same C. acne strain can change its behavior based on its environment and based on the amount of oxygen. Now, the second contributor is obviously sebum. So skin sebum, or natural skin oil, is a good servant but a bad master. Skin sebum is normally excreted from the hair follicles, as you can see in the top left figure. It coats the upper layer of the skin and acts as a natural barrier that protects the skin from external influences like bacteria and pollutants. It also provides nutrients to the skin's natural microbiome. But if there's an excessive amount of sebum in hair follicles, it can mix with dead skin cells, forming comedones, that is, clogged pores. This oxygen-free environment in the clogged pore then becomes fertile ground for bacteria, that is, C. acnes, which can then exponentially multiply and contribute to the formation of acne, like we can see in the top right figure. The acne inflammasome, shown in the bottom diagram, plays a significant role in the development of acne lesions, the pimples and the pustules, due to its activation of an inflammatory response within the skin. When this acne inflammasome is activated, it releases pro-inflammatory molecules that promote inflammation, stimulate excess sebum production in the skin, and disrupt the normal shedding of skin cells. This biological perfect storm leads to clogged pores, excessive growth of acne-causing bacteria within the clogged pores, and the formation of painful, unsightly, pus-filled pimples. A dynamic shift in the microenvironment can then trigger a different transcriptional response of the microbiota. C. acnes in a lipid-rich, hypoxic environment, that is no oxygen, promotes anaerobic fermentation and production of short-chain fatty acids that activate an epigenetic mechanism and enhances the toll-like receptor 2 mediated production of IL-6, IL-8, and TNF-alpha in human keratinocytes. This is skin inflammation that then turns the inflammasome into a positive feedback loop of inflammation, sebum overproduction, and acne pimples everywhere. Now let's look at the skin barrier. A healthy skin barrier, like the one shown in the figure at the top, is more than just a protective shield. If you remember the top layer, it's the microbiome, it's an ecosystem. The skin barrier, comprised of the epidermis and dermis that we showed earlier in the subcutaneous tissue, provides niches for various commensal microbiota. These microorganisms, including Staphylococcus epidermis, Cutibacterium acnes, and experimentally studied Lactobacillus and Malassezia fungi, interact with skin cells, contributing to barrier integrity, hydration, and immune modulation. Commensals, that is the good bacteria like S. epidermidis, support wound healing by producing butyrate that ramps up antimicrobial peptide production in keratinocytes and acts like a natural antibiotic factory on your skin. Staphylococcus hominis inhibits the growth of pathogens like Staphylococcus aureus. Others, like C. acne, produce propionic acid that strengthens the skin barrier by activating peroxisome proliferator activated receptor alpha, or PPAR, in keratinocytes. Indole 3-aldehyde is a metabolite from skin bacteria like Lactobacillus that quiet inflammation by steering immune cells towards tolerance instead of attack. But in acne, this delicate balance of the microbiome becomes disrupted. When the acne inflammasome is activated in severe acne, the chronic inflammation and immune cell activity caused by the body's pro-inflammatory molecules can compromise the skin barrier and negatively affect its ability to protect the body. A compromised skin barrier then manifests in several ways, including increased transepidermal water loss, that is, water moisture evaporates more quickly from the skin, leading to dryness and dehydration. Impaired barrier function, that is, the inflammation associated with activation of the acne inflammasome, weakens the skin barrier to the point to make it more permeable or porous, which allows external irritants, allergens, and bacteria to penetrate the skin more easily, which leads to further inflammation and potential skin damage, and finally, delayed healing. A compromised skin barrier can hinder the skin's natural healing process, so acne lesions may take longer to heal and may be more prone to infection and scarring. So this is why it's important to also treat the skin barrier as part of any topical acne regime and not use harsh products which will increase long-term damage. This means gentle non-stripping cleansers, hydrating soothing toners, and antioxidant-rich non-comedogenic moisturizers that are all skin microbiome friendly.